Hello there, beautiful, and welcome back to The Dark Alchemist. Today I have a reading all about the imminent energy shift that you are currently experiencing and going through. We will look at the old energy that's ready to leave completely out of your life. We're going to look at the new kind of energy that wants to come in. We will look at the spiritual motivation behind this kind of shift. And we will also look at ways that you can support yourself through this energy shift. Now today's reading is a bit time sensitive, or at least that's what I heard when I pulled your cards and meditated on the energy of today's reading. Because I mean, first of all, I heard the words time intensive several times, but also I had a different reading plan for this week that is already locked and loaded. And when I woke up in the morning, I realized I actually need to do something now. If you're watching this at the end of September in 23, there is a full moon happening tomorrow from the perspective of when I'm filming this. So it's like, I think on the 29th of September. If this is happening for you, this is your full moon reading. If you are watching this in the future, don't worry about it. This kind of energy shift or this reading will find you and resonate with you whenever you are at this moment of this energetic shift. You know, this like time sensitivity comes in not because you are otherwise losing out of an opportunity. It's more that there is a specific window opening to do this kind of work now with a specific kind of intensity, which will accelerate this transition process. It's like energy shift, you know, that's all it is really. Like you can shift in and out of energies at any time anyway. It's more so that at certain moments throughout the year, you will have an easier, maybe not easier, but it will be an accelerated process. Like easier is not necessarily the right word. But anyway, that's what's happening. So all of you are already the golden children because you are in this moment of acceleration, of accelerated progress. Okay, let's look at let's take a deep breath together to center. Take a deep breath in and out. Okay, and now that we're a bit more grounded, energies are crazy right now, let me show you the crystals. And for pile number 1, we have the card of the Mystical Sister. For pile number 2, we have Calcification. For pile number 3, we have Smoke. For pile number 4, we have Benevolent Guide. The crystal for pile number 1 is this piece of ammonite. Pile number 2, we have this little piece of pyrite. For pile number 3, we have this piece of clear quartz. And for pile number 4, we have this Dalmatian jasper. Okay, I will zoom in for you and give you about a minute of meditation with some music. You can take a couple more deep breaths, ground yourself, and then see which pile or maybe piles you feel most drawn to. You'll find the timestamps down below, and I will see you in your selected piles. If you felt drawn to the beautiful card of the Mystical Sister, which blends into our lovely background today, then welcome to your reading. I will first of all pull a few more of your cards. This Mystical Sister card is actually a representation of the new energy that wants to come in for you. So, I wanted you to pull your pile and pick your pile from the energy that you can already feel, that you want to align yourself to, not the old stuff. But that said, your representation for the old energy that wants to leave your system is the card of Ash. And I also pulled a topic card. So like I said, this is an energy shift. This is like a spiritual process, and the message card that describes what this shift is about, basically. Very complicated today. I mean, me, not this reading. Is Earth Star activation, anchoring grounded action, Isis energy. What's really interesting to me is that the card of the Earth Star activation speaks about, we have the High Priestess Isis, but this card speaks about this like Earth Star, which, depending on which chakra system you are following, because there are many theories out there about chakras. The Earth Star is about 30 centimeters below our feet. And it is connecting us to the wisdom of Mama Gaia, so Mother Earth. This connection to this Earth Star brings with it not just the wisdom of Mama Gaia, but it also brings the wisdom of our past lives, of grounding ourselves in our ancestry in more senses than just the physical bloodline that you're currently born into. This speaks about the cycle of reincarnation and all of the past lives that you have lived, and about all of the lessons that you have learned in those past lives, all of the gifts that you have cultivated in those past lives. And this card speaks about being in a very lucky position, that you're able to connect back to those past lives, revisit those lessons without having to live through them in this lifetime, because you have already finished them. And it speaks about having this golden opportunity to reconnect to old gifts and talents that you've had and that you've cultivated, and perhaps in some cases even mastered in past lifetimes. So that's what this card speaks of. This Earth Star chakra is also a connection to the underworld, and it's not the underworld in a scary sense of thinking about hell and heaven. It's the underworld thinking of, or in the sense of, this is the place where shamans travel to meet other beings and to receive guidance and to bring shadow messages forth, to connect to ancestors. So, you know, that's a very, very potent energy. And with this anchoring that's written down here, that because that's what I'm feeling drawn to the most, it's like anchoring. It's like it's time for you to pull these gifts and these talents and these old connections out and anchor yourself in this energy. And when I mean anchor yourself in this energy, I'm speaking about, it's not tying yourself to past situations. It's really just about the gifts that you have mastered, the lessons that you have learned, and to integrate that energy from those past lifetimes into your incarnation now. This sounds very mystical. What does this look like, to give it a bit more substance for you? This means that when it comes to your skills and talents, you are experiencing, or you will experience, a huge upgrade, as well as some of you might shift fields altogether when it comes to working, for example, because there are some soul gifts, some soul talents that want to come through now. Okay, it's time for you to reconnect to them, and it's not like you've done nothing wrong just because you're not connected to them right now. It's more so that they were in the blueprint of your lifetime. You had specific stages that you needed to go through, and you needed to go through these stages without knowing about these gifts and talents that you had. You know, and going through these stages almost with a clean slate, in order for you to make the choices that you have made, to go down all of the pathways that you have gone down, to meet all of the people that you needed to meet, and to let the path that you've been on unfold exactly in the way that it has. Because listen, if you had this kind of knowledge that you're about to ground into, if you had that earlier in your life, you would have made different choices, which means that you would have learned different lessons. And this different way of moving about would not have allowed you to develop the skills, talents, and lessons that you have already learned in this lifetime. You know, so sometimes this like veil of forgetfulness is what I want to call it, is there not to stop us, or not to, how should I say this? This veil of forgetfulness sometimes kicks in for us because we have a very specific blueprint with a very specific path that we need to take for a certain amount of our lifetimes, of our life, so that we can then shift into our highest timeline. Because what I'm speaking about now, like this, like shifting into this past life gifts. And like I said, some of you will like change paths altogether because of that. When this knowledge comes back in, you have this opportunity to change timelines. So timeline shift is a complete alteration of every aspect of your life. But this timeline shift is not something that you can create from the outer to the inner. The timeline shift is something that's created from the inner to the outer. Meaning you yourself have changed so much that the outside world has no other option but to adapt to the changed version of who you are. So things can be a bit different, but this timeline shift is coming after the like grounding in this energy. So I don't want to speak more about that, but just know that's something that's also in the books. Okay, let's have a quick look at your past energy. Actually funny because the ash card is also a representation of ancestry. I mean, when you think about it as well, ash is something that develops after the fire has burned down. So when it comes to the old energy, there are two messages. The first one is that the way of, or your old life, or the way that your life has been, is about to substantially change. You have this golden opportunity like I said, to shift timelines through this. And they're bringing me back to the blueprint that I spoke of earlier, where I said you had these specific stages and you needed to do things a specific way in these stages without having the prior knowledge. And because that knowledge now comes in, this like all of this like old way of everything is what I'm hearing. Is like the way that you were talking to yourself, speaking to yourself, certain habits that you have, the people surrounding you, your profession, your interest, the way that you spend your free time, what you think is possible for you. This feels like a massive shift on all levels, where it's like you, to give you an example, it's like waking up one morning and having a dream of a past life that you've lived, and realizing how the life that you're currently living is tied into the cycle of all of the past lifetimes. And just the knowledge, it's not just, yeah, I know I've been here before, but having the recognition of what came before is absolutely perspective and life altering. That's the topic that they're bringing me to. So there's a completely new way of being when it comes to this old energy. Like I said, this also speaks about ancestry and past lives. Some of you are ready to release fully release some old ancestral patterns when it comes to your gifts and talents. The topic that comes to mind right now is there was a reason why these gifts and talents are hidden or have been hidden for so long in your life right now. They needed to be hidden for survival reasons, is what I'm hearing. And there is an old way of looking at these gifts or talents, or an old... they're not giving me a clear picture, which means this is a collective reading. So this means this will be very different for each of you. But there was something in your ancestry or in your family line that was not welcoming to these gifts and talents. And because of that, they have been suppressed. They needed to be suppressed. And you connecting with that now brings this energy shift, not just for your life, but for your whole ancestral line. And this goes back and forth. So this goes back to the past, where like you are changing, because time is not linear. You are changing the energy patterns in your ancestry to the past, but if you choose to bring more life into this world, you're also shifting it to the ancestry when it comes to the future as well. You know, but then again, it's not just about you. If you have siblings, you know, you're shifting it on all levels. That's what I want to say. Let's keep it simple. But that's what you're being called to look into and to do. So that's something that's ready to just go. Because like, you know, like the fire is burnt down, like, you know, it's done. It's done. You can clean off the ash. You can reconnect back. And then from that point forward, you can move into this new way of being. And this new way of being, speaking about the mystical sister, like I said, is your energy card for the new energy, or the representation for your new energy. And the mystical sister, I mean, just when you look at the imagery, you see a moth here, and you see this light going full steam ahead, just like straight up to the moth. And this card with the mystical sister speaks about you meeting as well as becoming, is what I'm hearing, a mystical ally. This means that speaks about soul sisters. Whatever your gender might be is not relevant here. But this speaks about these deep soul connections of meeting others who have similar gifts and talents as you, coming together to explore the new way of being, to build each other up, and to build something new together. So this speaks about this new tribe, and in the context of this ancestry, and like I said, was this pattern that is ready to just completely be obliterated by you because you're reconnecting to these old gifts and talents. Because of that, huge chunks of your social circle will change as well. I feel like some of you are nodding right now. Some of you have been a bit in a period of isolation for a while because you didn't really connect with the old people anymore. So you just sort of let it die off, is what I just heard. So you're nodding. There's someone new. They're like, I mean, I say someone because this card speaks about one specific person, but it's not just about one person, okay? There's like a whole new tribe wanting to come into your life. And these are the people that are also connected to their earth stars. They're the people that have also uncovered their past life hidden gifts and are celebrating that. You know, there's a similar energy pattern between you and them when it comes to releasing this old ancestral pattern of suppressing these gifts. That's really beautiful. Also, I'm already happy for you. This is cool. It's always good to have new people coming in. Okay, I do have some advice cards on how you can move through this shift. But anyway, that's happening. That's the opportunity that you have. We have Kuan Yin, goddess of compassion. I need to move this up a little bit. Move my little star. We have, oh my God, you got double Isis. You got another card of Isis. She's coming through. It's potent. Goddess of magic and love. Holy. Okay. We have Artemis for you. Divine protector and goddess of light. That's crazy that you got double Isis. I mean, I don't have many decks where I have any kind of deities on them anyway. Yeah, alright. And we have Pele for you. Goddess of volcano, creativity, change, and protection. So first of all, I can't help but notice that you have two cards with protection as well. And they are on this side. Mystical Sister. This like new kind of energy. Two cards speaking about protection. And remember how I said that this mystical sister is an energy that there will be a mystical sister coming in for you, but also you will become one yourself. And I see this mirrored here down in this cards in the sense of you will be a divine protector for one another, but also you will be, no, I said it the wrong way. You will have a divine protector in your mystical sister, but at the same time you are also this Pele energy, and you're also in this energy of being the protector to them. Okay, better. But like I said, this is more about how you can support yourself through this shift, right? With Kuan Yin and Goddess of Compassion, I feel like there's a need to soften the edges, to soften the harshness. And I feel like it has something to do with your feelings regarding this past gift. What I mean by that is, once you start uncovering what this past gift is, you will also receive messages from your ancestors, and you will sort of connect the dots. You will see, I mean, bit by bit, you know, it's like a little scavenger hunt almost is the image that they're showing me. And not scavenger, they want me to say treasure hunt. Okay, sorry. It's a treasure hunt. Okay, you're on a treasure hunt, not a scavenger hunt. Okay, my apologies there, guys. And they're showing me that as you are on your treasure hunt, like with each little... Your guides are very humorous. They're laughing right now because I said it like a treasure hunt. Well, whatever. As you are at like each little station of this treasure hunt, and you're solving the little puzzle, and you move one clue forward, You will uncover the ancestral history that is connected to this past gift. So you will basically learn why this gift needed to stay hidden for all of these lifetimes, because you're not the only person who carried this hidden gift in your family line, but in a very long time you were the first one to uncover this, connect back into it and ground yourself. So you are basically the first one in a long time who will live this hidden gift out loud, is what I want to say here. And you will uncover why it needed to be suppressed, like what was going on in this energy pattern in your ancestry. And with you discovering that come a whole bunch of difficult emotions. There will be lots of anger, there will be sadness, and that's why Kuan Yin is already coming in, because I feel like some of you have already started to feel these kinds of emotions and this anger bubbling up, and this is like sacred kind of anger. Allow this anger to be there, express it if you want, hold space for this anger, but also hold compassion with this anger. And when I say hold compassion with this anger, I mean hold compassion for the people in your family line who were so scared of this gift for a myriad of different reasons. I can't get into this because, again, collective reading. Who were so scared and terrified of this gift that the only way that they thought to cope with it would be to suppress it and try to kill it. So hold compassion for these people, because they're not doing that out of fun. They're doing that because they themselves are stuck in so much pain that this is the only way that they know how to cope. Okay, so that's why the goddess of compassion is here. With Isis, goddess of magic and love. First of all, let's notice like the similarities in this posture, and it's like I'm being drawn to not only her posture with this like arm outstretched, like allowing this energy to come in. Okay. I just heard another message actually. They want me to connect it back to this card. There is like in these cards, there is, let me get the guidebook real quick. There is, in this like guidebook for this deck, there is always a message on a little activity that you can do to connect with this energy, and they want me to read it. And I got tripped up because I was looking at the Isis card and I felt drawn to the opening of this flower, you know, like the different stages of this flower and how this energy is like pulled up from underneath, and it brings, it's almost like, it's a very similar imagery actually now that I look at it to Pele, with like coming down from the depth of the earth and then just like rising, you know. There's like an energy of rising here, which I love. Okay, but I will hold actually this card up for you and I will read it for you. Connect. Imagine deep roots from the soles of your feet penetrating the earth and anchoring round a giant copper crystal star. Visualize streams of consciousness moving up into your feet. Receive them and then listen deeply. So your guides are saying, go ahead, re-listen to what I just said with this connect, and then after this reading is done, take a moment and do this practice, or, you know, in the quiet, maybe you have some quiet time in the evening, connect to this little practice, this little visualization, sit, listen, and see what comes up. There's like this, and connect with this energy a bit more actively. You can also do some guided meditations or guided, we got like some hypnosis that you can do when it comes to reconnecting to past life gifts. And actually, lucky for you, I did one of these because that's a topic that has been relevant for me as well. I recently did a great one, and it was on the channel of Unlock Your Life. Love that channel. Great. I adore everything that she does. But there is a meditation about connecting to past gifts. All right, I will actually link this down below for you. You will find it in the description box. I have a little tab there that's called resources. You will find it there. I'm going to put it there. Okay. Anyway, now onto these two. Goddess of light and divine protector. Protect your energy. You are very sensitive at this time because you are opening yourself up to this cleansing process, to this kind of upgrade. So you're very sensitive when it comes to your energy. There is a tendency to have emotions almost like in the Pele card, but here it's positive, I guess. And the image that they're showing me is someone that is like raging mad, and sort of like erupting like a volcano in that sense. There is a need for you to protect your energy and to calm your energy down a bit. And protecting your energy, there are lots of meditations that you can find up on YouTube. My favorite one is just very simple technique where you are envisioning yourself in a bubble, like energy bubble. If you look up energy bubble meditation, you'll find a great one for sure. And yeah, like goddess of volcano, creativity, change, and protection. With the creativity, I'm being drawn to express like what you're learning, these gifts that you're reconnecting to, that you're starting to remember and tap into. There's something that wants to be expressed here when it comes to this journey that you are on and that you have been on. And for some of you, you feel like you want to express it more creatively, but some of you haven't done that yet. It's time, okay? You don't need to show anybody. It's not for anyone to see. It's just for you to express whatever you need to express and get it out there. Okay, so any type of creative activity that you can do that you enjoy. It doesn't even need to be, you don't even need to sit down and think about, okay, now I'm going to do something for my past life gift, you know. You can just sit down and be like, I'm just going to see whatever I feel inspired to draw today or to write, and just, ground yourself and then see. Some of you can even connect that back to you ground yourself and then you listen, do this like little visualization technique, and then you listen, and then you just start writing or you just start drawing or whatever comes up for you. Okay. Well, your sassy your sassy guides are quiet now, so that means I've delivered. Well, your sassy guides are quiet now, so that means I have delivered all of the messages that I needed to deliver. That was your reading for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. With this energy shift, there will be 2 supportive resources coming your way this week. The first one will be an EFT tapping session to release uncomfortable emotions or physical sensations. I don't know what the other piles are yet about, but it will be something that is beneficial for you. And the second one will be an Reiki treatment to help you move through this energy shift. Both coming later this week. If they're out already, you'll find them in the pinned comment down below. And that's all I gotta say. If you would like to actually let me know how this resonates for you in the comments, because I love reading that. Yeah, that's all. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye. If you felt drawn to the calcification card and the pyrite, welcome to your reading. And we will jump straight into it. What's interesting to me is the calcification card is the representation of the new energy that you're shifting into. Because, when I drew the pile cards, I really wanted you to pull from the energy that you're about to align yourself with, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to read it if some part of you wouldn't already be aligned with that, and not relate back to the old stuff. So let's look at the other cards for you. For you, I actually got 2 when it comes to your old energy or the energy pattern that you're ready to shift out of. We have chaos, and we have this clarified. So this is we had to come out with the card of Venus. That's a clarification here. All right, and then we have sort of the spiritual principle that governs this kind of shift. And for you, we have Seraphim's Gateway, we meet again. Voice activation, angelic attunement, and divine support. If you are actually watching this as this reading goes live, we have like a full moon coming up tomorrow, I believe. And last week's reading, this card also came up. There was the pep talk reading. I might actually link it down there below there for you, because I feel like there is an additional message in this reading because this exact card came out. Okay, so let's have a look. There is a different way of using your voice activated right now and coming through. We see this already in the Seraphim's Gateway here with like voice activation and angelic attunement, divine support. And when we look at the new energy card with calcification, this process of calcification is a process, an alchemical process that occurs when there is enough heat in the situation or in the pot in that instance, so that an old substance can change form, become liquid, become gas or whatever, it just gets transformed. So this speaks about this having this intense amount of heat to change from one state to another. It's also a card that speaks of passion. And the reason that I'm speaking first about this is because this old energy or this energy pattern that's ready to shift out of your life is shifting out of your life to a magnitude where you will be able to become a completely different person. Because like I said, this speaks about this like intense heat. This intense heat, by the way, when it comes to the light side of this energy, it is very passionate, very committed, very driven. When it comes to a more shadow side, this energy can be grounded in a destructive kind of anger, destructive kind of rage, where you go through the streets and try to destroy everything of the old system. You know, these are like the two possibilities when it comes to this calcification energy. But again, also like being angry enough to a certain extent can be a catalyst for creating a new life, you know. It's not all bad, that's what I want to say here when it comes to anger. In fact, I don't believe there are any emotions that are bad anyway. All of them are just information for us, technically. Okay. Anyway, let's have a look at the old energy. The energy of chaos speaks about a feeling of spinning. I mean, when you think about chaos, chaos is disorienting. Chaos is not knowing which way is up, which way is forward, which way is left, which way is right. It's a feeling of floating off the earth almost. It's a feeling of being ungrounded is what this energy is speaking of. We see a spider web here. It's being stuck in this spider web, in this chaos, and not finding a way out. And the Venus card speaks about pleasure, eros, beauty, sensuality. These two combined speak to me about a feeling of being ungrounded when it comes to your senses. It's almost like your own personal senses or your own personal perception of an impression of certain situations has been massively overridden by others, because this chaos energy feels like it's not coming from you. Yeah, it's coming from others, and now they're drawing my attention to the three figures here. So you have been made to doubt your own senses by some people surrounding you. And it's almost this kind of fog that's on your mind, or has been on your mind, that is a representation of this like super dark forest where you feel like you can't really see and you don't really know what to do, and you feel like you're spinning, but it's like you don't even know who to turn to for some advice, because it's like the people that are surrounding you are the ones that want to keep you in this forest almost. For some of you, I just heard the word for their entertainment, which is not a very kind and gentle energy to be around. But that's the kind of image that they're giving me. So that's the old energy that's ready to leave. So the confusion is ready to leave. The feeling of being ungrounded is ready to leave. And most importantly, this feeling that you cannot trust your own perceptions. That's the key here. The feeling that you cannot trust your own perceptions is ready to leave your life. And this feeling that you can't trust your own perception. There's almost this feeling that you felt like you were too soft for this world. That you were too gentle, because I feel, like I said, this is not really your energy. And I'm going to put the Venus card on top, because this feels much more like your energy. What I'm feeling from you is, like this vibrancy and color. You see all of this nuance in the color as well. This like being able to see the nuances and perceive the nuances, the subtleties in any situation or conversation even, and being very strong when it comes to picking all of these little things up. It's like a very, very gentle, very, very clear perception, being able to see clearly is what's coming through there. And that's interesting to me, because when you are in a position where you're not trusting your own perception, the way that you're expressing yourself is also feeling off, because it's not grounded in the authentic core, because you are doubting the authentic core. So how can you speak and create from that place when you yourself are suppressing it and you yourself are censoring this place? And that's exactly what they want to bring forth, that this energetic shift that you're currently in, that you're experiencing, that is about to be lit on fire, is what I just heard, by the seraphims, by your angelic support, is bringing you to this place where finally, like, you can completely change this energy, leave this energy behind, and be on fire from this place, and create from this fiery place of trusting your own perception. You even see here, there's this one light in the darkness. I need to change my camera battery. I'll be right back. Okay, the last thing that I said, I remember I spoke about you being this little light in this darkness. And even the birds here, it's like having this bird's eye view, and you trusting your perception. And because of that, you're able to just shift out of everything. It's like feeling free. I'm getting this, It's like utter freedom. Freedom because you're trusting your own perception. Freedom because you're no longer feeling ungrounded. You're no longer asking others for the advice of what you should do, where you should go, what you could create next, because you're reconnected to that core of yours, of this authentic voice. And because you're connected to that, you have your own guidance. Like you are your own, you are your own guide. That's really beautiful. It's a really beautiful energy. I have one more thing coming up for me, and it's about this like Seraphim's Gateway. Remember how I said, even the colors, now that I look at it through my camera lens as well, like even the cards, the colors are similar, and I felt so drawn to these colors. And remember how I said there's almost this feeling that you felt that you were too soft for this world. And I feel like you felt like you were too soft for this world is precisely because you're carrying this angelic energy. Because the Seraphim's Gateway, with the angelic attunement, it speaks about, you you are surrounded by angels, it's one thing. But it also speaks about how you are someone who really, really deeply cares for the earth and all her beings that live on this planet. And all her beings include animals, it includes people, it includes plants, and just everything that's here. And you're carrying this much because you are this gentle being. And it can be really hard to be this empathetic and caring in today's world with our society that we got today, and just the way that our systems are set up and what we're taught on who we should be. And, you know, it's a dog-eat-dog world, etc., etc. And this gentle angelic energy that you're carrying is so beautiful and it's so healing. And the more people that reconnect to that kind of energy of theirs and are living and creating and working from that place, the more things will change on the bigger scale. So this is from me to you. Allow yourself to soften. Not necessarily in front of the other people, because you know that's going to be harmful for you, but just you by yourself. When you are by yourself, you know that you're safe because you've always, every single day of your life, you've got yourself. You have gotten yourself every single day of your life. You've made it through every single day of your life. Every time that you've laid down to sleep, you were there, holding yourself in your own body, bringing yourself to sleep. So you know that you are safe with yourself, so allow yourself to soften for yourself, in yourself, with yourself. It would be actually very beneficial for you to spend some time every day where you can be a little bit by yourself, maybe even just 10 minutes, depending on your living conditions, etc. To just sit with yourself and just hold this gentle space with yourself. Okay. Let me pull some cards for you and see how you can support yourself through this energy shift. And for you, we have the card of the waning gibbous moon turning inwards. This needs to go up a little bit so I have space. We have choose love. I'm smiling because this is so fitting with this loving energy that I spoke of, and this like gentleness. Oh, I love that energy. We have Yemaya, goddess of the sea and mother of all. And we have experience. Let yourself grow, embrace your knowledge, apply it, and improve it. It's like, I don't know why, but I'm massively drawn when I'm looking at all of these images. I'm massively drawn to all of the stars that are present here at the top. Okay, they're showing me an image. Oh, that's interesting. Let me show you this card as a little reference to share what I just saw. So with this star energy, or with the star energy that I just spoke of, it's like you are, it's not even like when you look at this card, it looks like she's pulling this kind of energy down, but they're showing me more that this star energy is this representation of this angelic energy that you carry, that you have not allowed yourself to fully tap into. And they're showing me that this is already in you, and it's more so that it's coming alive now. And as I'm looking at my camera, by the way, I see the number 44. So that might be relevant for you actually in the coming weeks. To see the number 44, you can always connect it back to this reading and what I'm about to say now. It will be more like a light switch. like a light switch of this energy, this angelic energy will get turned on, like a light switch. I saw this like star sort of on your forehead, like flickering for a moment. You know, sometimes when you turn on the light, it needs to power up for a second, and then it's just like live, and it's on. And that's the kind of energy shift that this like angelic support will bring through, where this energy of yours, once you start to allow yourself to tap and connect into it in the manner that I just spoke of, where you allow yourself to be just gentle with yourself and you allow yourself to express these perceptions that you've had, just you by yourself, for yourself, with yourself, and not to anyone else, and you're just validating that for yourself, what you're witnessing, because that's how you start to shift out of that, is you're acknowledging your perceptions and you're validating them without anyone else. You yourself say, I know I'm witnessing that. I know I just experienced that. I know I just felt that. I know this is here. I know this is happening. I saw this. I noticed that. And you just keep validating that for yourself. Like, keep validating that for yourself. The more that you're doing that, the more that you are, like connecting that energy and allowing that energy to be in there, present, and not just present, but active in your life. Active is the perfect word for this, because like I said, the image of where your energy is at now with this like old energy, it's like the same image, but this star isn't shining, it's just turned off, like I said, like a light switch. And also with the heart here, it's like almost here at the throat. It's like almost at throat chakra level. Again, with like voice activation, this is also speaking about throat chakra, of course, and that's like self-expression. Expressing yourself. And this is the self-love. This is the like loving communication with yourself, of validating your own experiences. And that's why we have like turn inwards first here. This is just basically the image to accommodate what I just said earlier as well, where take time for you to just sit you with yourself, by yourself, feel, sense, express to yourself, validate it. So that's like a huge factor of how you can shift out of this. And we have here Goddess of the Sea and Mother of All. And when you look at this imagery with all of the water that she's standing in, and I mean the sea is with the salt water, a representation of your emotions and you opening up to your own perceptions and validating that. You just telling yourself, I believe in myself, for example, could be a great affirmation for you to adopt for the following weeks. Just every day, just tell yourself, I believe in myself. If you want to take it a step further, you stand in front of the mirror and look yourself in the eye and you say, I believe in myself. Notice the emotional reaction that's coming up for you as you are expressing that, and allow yourself to cry it out. Because I feel like for a lot of you, it's not something that you have heard ever, and you have not told yourself that as well. And it's time to shift that. With this like Goddess of the Sea and Mother of All, it's like you are stepping into this mother role for yourself, into becoming this gentle mothering energy for yourself. Holding space for these emotions, like mothering yourself through these emotions as well. And we have let yourself grow, embrace your knowledge, apply it, and improve it. Where's my camera focusing instead? Is it here? No? Okay. That took a second. With this experience, so my camera's, this is interesting that my camera is focusing on the Venus card over here. Okay, so the connection to the Venus card, with the experiences, like let yourself grow, embrace your knowledge, apply it, and improve it. Remember how I said that certain decisions on what you should do, how you should proceed, etc., was something that you left up to other people because you didn't trust your own perceptions. The more that you're tapping into your perceptions, they will change the way that you are approaching your decisions. I also spoke about it, just remembered, with the calcification card, how you are becoming your own guide. And you don't need to get every decision right. It's not so much about that. It's more about allowing yourself to make these decisions, and they're drawing my attention now to the seed, to the bud, to the slowly opening, to the unfolding, the budding blossom, to the full-on open bloom that we have here. It's just like that, okay? You don't need to... The way that you're currently experiencing this is you think that you go from the seed to being fully open, and that's why you feel a little scared to go on this path or to continue with this work, with this journey. And it's not like that. It will be in like all of these little steps, and like along of these steps you will refine your qualities. You will refine your perceptions. You will refine I can't speak. You will refine your approaches to your decision making, to your creation, to your emotions. You will refine your approach to and your practice of sitting with yourself and tapping into these subtleties, tapping into your perception. You know, it's not a like from now, it's not like they will turn on the light once and you know everything and you know how to handle everything. It's not like that. It's along this journey, the more that you're tapping into this, into your own energy, into your own perceptions, validating that, the more that you're doing that, the more, and like slowly, it will change the way that you are moving through. Is there anything else wanting to come through? No, not so much. Okay, the only thing I heard is please engage in this sitting practice that I shared with you. So take some time, make that part of your habit. And also some of you actually I feel called to say, start journaling your perceptions. You will start to see a pattern after a while. Okay, I have no more messages for you, so that's the reading that I have for you today, my beautiful pile number 2s. Very powerful energy to connect and reclaim your own perception and your power that way. Really beautiful, I'm excited for you. And connected to today's reading will be 2 extra resources coming your way this week. The first one will be an EFT tapping session to help you release some uncomfortable emotions or physical sensations. And the second one will be a 30-minute Reiki treatment to support this energetic shift for you. Both coming later this week. If it's out already for you, you will find it in the pinned comment down below. And again, this reading from last week, I will pin it in our description box. There will be a tab that's called resources, and I will pop it in there for you. Because if you're watching this in the future as well, you know, you don't need to go through all of my channel to find it. You have it right there. And that's all. Okay. Let me know how this resonates in the comments down below if you feel like sharing something with me, because I love reading that. It's so interesting to me. And yeah, that's it. Have a beautiful rest of your day today. Bye. If you felt drawn to this small card, then welcome to your reading. And this is actually funny because when I pulled your cards, when this one came out more specifically, I already heard a word for you. And this card, the smoke card, is a representation of the energy that you are growing into, or the energy that you're shifting into. Because I didn't want you to pull, like for the pile picking, I mean, I didn't want you to pick an old energy card. I wanted you to pick and have the option to choose an energy card that you're actually aligning yourself with, you know, let the old one wash away from the pattern wise. And when I pulled this card and I looked at it, I heard the words clear seeing. So clear sight. We will see how that pops and fits into your reading. But the card that I have for your old energy pattern that you're shifting out of is the card of Wise Salt. And I also have one card that sort of speaks more about the spiritual lesson, or more the spiritual process that's happening. I don't know how to describe it really, but I'm going to put it into the reading for you. And for you, we have the card of Sacred Inner Space, Sacral Chakra, Tenderness, and Sensuality. And for you as well, I feel called to let you know that last week I had a reading where I gave a short pep talk from your guides. And this particular card also came out for one of the piles. And you might want to connect back to it, because I already see and feel a red thread to that reading. It's funny because I also had another pile where the card came out exactly from last week, and it was more of a continuation. But if you are watching this from the future, hello future you, I will pop the reading link for that reading that connects to this one in the description box. You will find it under resources and then pile number 3, because there's no need for you to go through my channel and find it. It's right there for you, alright? So, with that said, let's have a look at how this ties together. Now, speaking about the energy shift that is happening for you, let's start with your old energy, because I feel like you are leaving the need to persevere behind. And let me clarify what I mean with that. When we look at the Wise Salt card, this card speaks about perseveration. It also speaks about grit. So it speaks about sort of the imagery that I can give you is with this grit. It's almost like when you're having an oyster and there is a pearl formed inside the oyster, and there is one irritant there. It's usually like a grit of dirt or sand, but this like sort of grit that irritates creates over time this pearl, this like pearl of wisdom. That's the connection back to the Wise Salt, if you're wondering. This like pearl of wisdom is something that you have cultivated by going through very, very tough cycles in your life, very, very tough circumstances. I feel a lot of pain there. And they're not giving me a specific area right now. So I am guessing, because this is a collective reading, it's vastly different for all of you, where this like pain pattern was more active in your life. And I feel like there was one particular area where this pattern of pain was very active. And you've learned a lot of lessons from that, because you have persevered through. And I feel like you are shifting into a stage now where things will be a lot easier for you. You know, this like perseverance has this, for this card, sort of this connotation of being very heavy, being very gruesome, being very tiring work. You know, it's not a positive kind of perseverance of going after your goals and achieving that. It's really the like persevering in order to survive. That kind of energy pattern is ready to leave your life now, because you've learned all of the lessons, you've learned all of the wisdom that you needed to pick up along the way. You've done it. Okay, you've went the 9 yards, you've done it, you went the whole way, you got it. A beautiful thing about the Wise Salt, by the way, is, and with this journey that you've been through, is that this wisdom that you've gained can be used to guide and help others along the way. But that's just a little side note that is not necessarily something to do with your reading today. I just needed to mention that because I feel like it can be very easy to sort of get harsh and like develop sort of this hard shell from this kind of journey. And I find it interesting as well that you have this card of a sacred inner space with sacral chakra, tenderness, and sensuality coming in and connect. I mean, even just with me holding it with like the lights coming in, it's like literally connecting the cards together. And there's this hard, almost this like hardness, this like harsh, hard shell. Why do I want to say harsh though? Harsh inner voice. Okay, you've developed a bit of a harsh inner voice along your way, along your journey. It's like you've picked that up a bit from the energies that were surrounding you. It's like there was some harshness surrounding you and you've picked this kind of energy up from them. It's like the salt. I mean, salt is used to preserve, but salt is also... Okay, your guys are funny. They're showing me like a cell phone that is drenched in water and someone just sticking it into salt because the salt will suck out the moisture. That's the image that they're showing me right now to describe this. It's like through this process, it's almost like someone else was this kind of like a wet phone, and in an emergency they sort of went and tried to dry themselves off in your energy almost. Is the imagery that they're giving me. That's the best way that I can describe it. And as a result, because you have been in their presence for an extended period of time and engaged with them for an extended period of time, which by the way, there is no shade here whatsoever. It just, like on an energetic level, that's something that happened. You have taken on some pieces of their energy that doesn't belong with you. They're also bringing through already as a little advice on something that you can do is if you have access to a bathtub, getting a salt bath would be very beneficial. If you don't have access to a bathtub, by the way, you can also do a salt bath just for your feet. You can just take a bucket for that. No need for a fancy bathtub. So you can also do a salt bath that way. It would be very, very beneficial for you actually. On an energetic level is what I'm getting here. But yeah, so that's kind of like this energy that's leaving your life. And alongside this energetic level or this need to persevere leaving your life, it's also the release of these like patterns. It's almost like you are okay, I don't know what's up with the imagery with this phone, because remember how I said that it's like this phone is taken out, the phone is now dry, but the substance is in the salt. They're almost showing me like re-wetting the salt, like getting the salt wet again, and then laying it plain down on the earth, like on the ground with like sunlight, like sunlight on the salt, and then drying it. It's almost like a salt flat. To get the ocean salt. I don't know what's up with the imagery. But anyway, that's the process. That's the way that they want to describe this process. And I mean, it is quite visual, so we all know what a salt flat looks like when, yeah, okay. Anyway, let me get back to what I just wanted to say and re-find my red thread here for a second. Okay, that just clarified for me that this like getting the salt wet again is this process of you taking the salt bath. It's like you taking the salt bath is acting like this like drawing this energy out, and then you drying yourself off. You can also do a visualization with that actually. As you are doing your salt bath, you can just visualize whatever color or whatever way that you are envisioning that kind of energy that I just spoke of, that like it's like stuck to you. Perhaps you see it as something like black, or just like a darker color or something. You can see that being drawn out of you as a visualization into the water. And then you can also, once you either check the water down the drain, or as you're pulling the plug from your tub, you can also visualize this kind of energy like going down the drain with this color, and then it's clean afterwards and it's gone. That's the imagery. That's why they were so adamant about this. Okay. That's really interesting. I love that actually, because also here, right, we have all of the water that's present in this temple. Yeah, this is about tapping back into this. And this like sacral chakra is the seat of our emotions. It's the seat of our creativity as well, and the seat of our sensuality. And for you, I feel heavily drawn to the seat of your emotions. It's like this water is getting cleared. This like water in this temple is getting cleared. And as I'm saying that, they're showing me a similar imagery to what I saw in this last reading that I did, where I put the link down below. It's like this water is a bit murky. You know, it's not as clean and pristine as it is on this picture for you right now. It's a bit murky, you know, it's like a little bit, yeah, it's just a bit murky. And it's a bit murky because, like I said, of this energy that you've taken on, and there's like a cleansing process, and then you will feel a lot lighter immediately after doing the salt bath, by the way. If you do the visualization particularly, there will be a lot of lightness coming in as a feeling as a result of that, particularly if you do that more regularly. And this like harshness, this like harsh inner voice as well, this hardness that you needed to develop because you've been going through that, is something that wants to soften, and it's something that you can soften. Okay, there's like this softer energy coming in. But let me speak for a moment about the smoke card actually, because like I said, I heard when I pulled this card for you, clear vision, clear sight, clear vision. I can see clearly. And there's almost like these energies that tripped you up beforehand, you know, like the ones that were shoving their phone in your salt, so to speak. It's like you see straight through them now. And if you're ever encountering someone who has a similar kind of vibration as those people, you will never fall for it again. Ever. You see through that because of all of the wisdom that you've gained from the journey that you've been on. It may look like smoke to others, but to you, there's no smoke anymore. This speaks about pure clarity. I absolutely adore that. Okay, let us look at the cards on how you can support yourself through this shift. So for you, I have experience. Let yourself grow, embrace your knowledge, apply it, and improve it. I have the card of manifestation. Create the life you want. And for you, I got one extra, by the way. I have full moon with blossom. I'm going to place it actually right on top of this. And we have clear quartz, which is funny. Actually, it's funny because you pulled the clear quartz and you also got the clear quartz card. So we will put it on top of it. Clear quartz, clarity, healing, endless possibilities. Together with the smoke card and the clear seeing that I just spoke of. We're going to pop it right here. Because this is you. This is the new you, okay? And we have Celestite, calm, inspiration, and serendipity. How funny is that? That you also got the clear quartz card. Yeah, so how can you support yourself moving through that? And by the way, let me start here because my vision just fell on how this card speaks about the full moon blossom, and how here we have an open lotus flower that's here. How beautiful is that imagery? That connection between these two. And I mean, if you're watching this as this is coming out, we do have a full moon coming up. That's why we also have the moon decoration today. But also, I mean, full moons are, from an energy perspective, times when things blossom for the positive, but also for the negative, meaning the blossoming is the last sort of like life stage before it's time to release something, you know? So full moons can be a culmination point, either for like manifestations to come in, for example, but also sort of like this points of fullness of like the last moment before it's time to release a relationship, for example, you know? It's this like culmination of things coming together, combining together before it's time to release it all. And I feel like here with experience, let yourself grow, embrace your knowledge, apply it and improve it. This is a nod back to all of the wisdom that you have gained along this journey, how like now it's time for you to apply more of what you learned and allow yourself to grow with that. Allow yourself to grow because, like I said, it's like it's no longer time for this persevering energy in the sense of it's very tiring, it's draining kind of work. It's more all of the wisdom that you learned there. Now you can tap into the positive aspects of that and gain these like positive aspects that you learned from that and allow that to bring your journey forward, because we have also manifestation, create the life that you want. It's like you, how should I phrase this? All of the lessons that you've learned and all of the waters that you have cleared, once you have, or in the process of you releasing all of these older energies that are like, or have been clinging to you, this like heavier energies, the more you are tapping into your full manifestation power. And even here, when you look at the imagery, she has, I mean, right here is like her solar plexus highlighted, but right here as well is the sacral chakra. So it's sort of like the mixture of these two chakras. They're like willpower and the emotional, the seat of emotions, the creative seat, in order to, and you see also like the third eye here is open, so there is this clear sight. What I want to say here with very complicated, in a very complicated way, is that with all of the wisdom that you have gained, you have a lot of clarity on how you can manifest what you want. Like you've gained a lot of clarity about what you don't want, which enables you to develop a lot of clarity about what you do want to have in your life. And because of the lesson that you've learned and the people that you've encountered and the energies that you have dealt with, and this like clear vision that is kicking in for you hardcore, you are on a fast track lane to create a very peaceful, very beautiful life that is free of all of these old energies. Okay, that was much more precise. And with the like experience, let yourself grow, embrace your knowledge, apply it, improve it. When creating the life that you want, you can start by dreaming about it. If this energy was no longer present in your life, who would you be? How would you be? Even more importantly, how would you be? What would you do? What would you do different? How would your friend circle look like? You know, like all of these questions you can ask yourself, and from these questions you can then start to create and you can start to manifest. And this like act of manifestation is connected to the way that you're feeling. I know there are a lot of, there are so many techniques about how you can manifest and so many videos online about that as well. And you know, like different things work best for different people, etc. I acknowledge that. For you, I'm being heavily drawn to using your emotions more than thinking about, or more than trying to physically get things right. it's a bit difficult to explain. Let me try this again, because I feel like I wasn't clear at all. If you are envisioning, for example, a specific romantic partner, there are two ways of manifesting them. You can manifest them by envisioning what they look like, envisioning what kind of work they're doing, envisioning what kind of friendships they're having, what kind of activities they're into, what kind of hobbies they have, and like plan out how the both of you will travel together, or whatever comes to your mind. Or you can manifest this person by visualizing and feeling the way that you want to feel in that kind of relationship. You can manifest through feeling how you will feel in this relationship. You can feel your way into how you're feeling after interacting with them. What kind of feeling is present in your relationship on a day-to-day basis? How are your interactions with each other making you feel? Do you feel safe? Do you feel loved? Do you feel that you can be very playful with one another? What's the vibe? What's the energy present there? And that kind of manifestation cuts very, very deep. It's sometimes, depending on how you're wired, of course, it can be easier for some and more difficult for others. But visualizing the vibe more than the physical circumstances, I will say, or the physical details, allows your spirit team to pull someone to you that fits that to an absolute T. Because chances are, with the view that you're having right now on what you would like to create, it still like somehow it's like you're still wearing a bit of this lens from going through this journey. There are certain limitations when it comes to what you think is possible or not, which is not bad at all. It's only natural after you've gone through something as gruesome as the journey that you've been through with like all of this pain. Of course, this has an effect on how you're viewing the world. So what I mean is, what you are currently being able to visualize when it comes to your life moving forward is limited by the limits of the people that were surrounding you and what you witnessed. If you're manifesting from that space and manifesting this through this like physical lens, you are also limiting your manifestation. If you are manifesting this through the realm of feeling, you are allowing your spirit team to fill in the gaps and to pull the physical circumstances from the highest possible timeline to go with your feeling. Does that make sense to you? I don't know how to describe it better. I think that's the best way that I can describe it. Because going by feeling, and I know that also from personal experience, I'm also someone, I do best with feeling rather than micromanaging the physical details of everything. Going by feeling is so powerful. Also because the more that you're feeling these feelings, and the more that you're feeling the effect of these feelings, the more real it becomes. It's like you can think of something that makes you happy right now, and you will feel happy. So already it's real. If you're sitting there and you're thinking and you're visualizing a particular scenario, it's much harder to feel like this is real, because you're like, okay, this is an imagery in my mind. But feeling is something that is grounded in your body. Feeling is a physical sensation. So already you've bridged a gap to your manifestation, to drawing this into the physical reality, so that you can also see it, of course, and touch it and feel it physically. You've already bridged that gap. You know, and it's easier also for the mind to believe it because the mind already felt it. The body already, it's easier for the mind to believe it because your body already felt it. You know, your mind already had the experience that this has happened or this is happening. So it also, like at the same time, it reduces the resistance towards it. Okay, that's all they wanted me to say about the manifestation card. So go with your feeling. Okay, as my advice to you, go with your feeling. We have Blossom here with the full moon. I'm being drawn to this meditative posture here to allow yourself to feel, because also here, like to feel your way into how would it feel to live a life free of these people. How would you feel? How would you feel? Okay, that's the only thing that they want me to say about this one. And then with the clarity, healing, and endless possibilities. Okay, now they're bringing me back to the manifestation because of the endless possibilities. It's like I said, if you're manifesting this from a point of feeling, it can also, by the way, if you want to manifest a house or a new place to live, how are you feeling in the space? How does the space feel to you? It can feel spacious, you know, it can feel cozy, it can feel very quiet and calm. It can feel very bustling, like you are surrounded by the city life, you know, and there are all of these feelings that you can manifest also for these things. You can manifest a new job. Like, how are you feeling on a day-to-day basis going to your job? How are you feeling when you are waking up in the morning, when you're thinking about getting ready for your job? How are you feeling at your new job? How are you feeling when it comes to the interactions with your coworkers or with your boss, or maybe you are the boss? How is all of this feeling to you? And sink your teeth into this feeling aspect of it. Because with the clarity that you have, the like clarity and vision, the details of what steps you need to take or what the right opportunity for you is, like this will come to you no problem because you have this clarity and sight. So go with this feeling. Actually, like giving you homework, take 5 minutes every day, every evening to feel before going to sleep. Okay, so you've released all of your day, 5 minutes before going to sleep, or even as you're falling asleep, feel your way into the new. That's your homework that they're giving you. And we have here calm, inspiration, and serendipity. The calmness is something that's really important for you right now. Okay, you can, with the inspiration, this also touches back on what I just spoke about, how these ideas will come to you. And the calmness is very important here because seeing these visions or getting these kinds of insights requires you to be in a calm and quiet state so that the subtle voice can come through, the subtle visions can come through. So calming yourself down in whatever way that you can is very important at this time. And it's also like calming emotions, calming your mind. There are so many different activities that you can engage in to calm your mind or to calm your body down. I mean, for me, for example, of course, there is EFT tapping, which is an incredible tool to release any kinds of emotions, any kinds of pain, physical sensations, etc. Something that you could experiment with, but there are so many other tools. You can do breath work, you can do meditation, you can do working out as well in whatever capacity is available to you and your body, because not everyone can go running or wants to go running either. There are so many possibilities that you can do to involve your body and to draw your attention into your body, which the more that you're in your body, the calmer your mind gets. It's like literally like drawing this energy down into your body. Yeah. Am I getting any more messages for you? I just heard them say no. Okay, so I guess these are your messages for this energetic shift. And coming your way this week are 2 extra resources. The first one will be an EFT tapping session to support this message. I'm also actually getting interrupted right now because I do have an idea when it comes to releasing the calm. I will put some EFT videos that I've already done when it comes to calming your mind down. I will put those in the description box under resources for pile number 3. So you will find those there already. But anyway, regardless of that, there will be another EFT resource coming out this week. And the second resource will be an a Reiki healing, a 30-minute Reiki healing to support this energetic shift for you. If it's out already, you will find it in the pinned comment down below. And let me know how this resonates for you if you want to share something with me, because I love reading that as well. And that's all I have to say. Yeah. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye. If you felt drawn to the benevolent guide card, then welcome to your reading. And I already heard a few messages for you just when I pulled your cards, and I will pull them out in a second and then we will, piece it together. But let's have a look at this card first, because this actually is a representation of the energy that you're shifting into. Because for the pile picking today, I didn't want you to pick an old energy that's ready to leave your life. I wanted to support you aligning with this new energy, and you're aligning with this one, with the benevolent guide card. All right, let's look at your other cards. I did ask for one card as your old energy pattern, and they gave me 3, but these two are clarifications for whatever this is. Okay, we have the darkening. We have the yellowing. And we have the peacock's tail. Okay, let me, for now, place this like this. And then I have one card which represents the spiritual motivation of this energy shift, because, it's energy work. It's like part of your spiritual evolution. So let's have a look what comes out. Oh, beautiful. We have Heart of Source. All-encompassing love, unconditional acceptance, and serenity. Now let's actually start speaking about the old energy, because when these cards flew out, I did hear Dark Night of the Soul, and I heard the words awakening. So you have been going through an awakening process. And the dark night of the soul. So what does that mean? It means that you have been doing a lot of shadow work. The card of the darkening speaks about going into these spaces where it's basically a card that's connected to the underworld energy. It's a card that speaks about releasing all surface level conversations, and these surface level conversations that you have with yourself, and dropping into the depth, into the darkness, to have these deeper conversations with you and with your soul, and discovering your soul. And there is a lot of purging involved in this process, and we have this card paired with yellowing. And the card of yellowing speaks about a transition period. And you have been through this transition, like you are at the end stage of this transition. And what this transition was about is also clarified here by the peacock's tail. Because the peacock's tail speaks about developing a multiplicity of perspectives. It's when you're thinking about the peacock's tail, all of their feathers have eyes, right? So they have so many different eyes in their tails. And this speaks about a broadening of the viewpoint, broadening of the perspective, to not only see your own viewpoint, but also see others' viewpoints, and know that there really isn't an ultimate, this is true or this is false. It just depends on who's looking at the situation. It's this energy of, you can ask 2 people what happened in the situation that they just been through, and how the other felt, and both people completely misinterpret what the other was thinking or saying or feeling. And it's because each of us goes through our lives and looks through our lives with the glasses that we have picked up along the way, and these glasses are tinted by all of the prior experiences that we've had, the country that we live in, the culture that we live in, the family that we live in, and all of the experiences that come out of that also others had. Sometimes other people give us warnings on not to do something based on what they experience, so they tell us a tale of caution, and it becomes part of our own limits. It's that kind of energy that you have been shedding massively. And they also, like, your guides are coming through now, tell them good job, good job, you've done an excellent job working your way through that. It was not easy at all, you've done excellent. And you are in the end stages of completely shedding that and opening up to this multiplicity of perspective. I feel like this multiplicity of perspective for you also involves a more, I would say, like classic spiritual awakening. What I mean by that is there is an opening to otherworldly energies, a perception of otherworldly energies. Spirit guides. The card of the benevolent guide is the card in this deck that speaks about spirit guides. It's the spirit team, the spirit guides in the unseen world that are always there, even though we may doubt it at some times because we are doubting our own perception. But nevertheless, they are always there. And that's what this card speaks of. With you shifting into that energy, with the opening of your perspective and the coming out of this deep shadow work and the dark night of the soul, like coming out of this transition period that you've been through, and opening up your perspective to this peacock's tail of seeing all of this, experiencing all of this, you will no longer be in a position where you're questioning whether or not they're real, whether or not you can perceive them, because it's no longer going to be something that happens sometimes. It will become a very regular part of your routine. A very regular part of your routine, yeah. I wanted to say, I slipped up because I wanted to say day-to-day occurrence, because I heard that, and yeah. So day-to-day occurrence. So it will be very, very present for you. So you, on some level, you are becoming a benevolent guide yourself. And I just heard the word channeler. So some of you are growing to become channelers yourself of these guides. I mean, your own, of course, but also the guides of others. So there's like an opening up happening for some of you. That's really cool. I love that. Okay, then we have Heart of Source with the spiritual lesson or the spiritual motivation. With the all-encompassing love, unconditional acceptance, serenity. This card also speaks about unity. It speaks about things coming full circle in the sense of all of the energy that you've put into going through this transformation, all of these sheddings that you've been through, all of the shadow work, everything that you've left behind, everything that you've questioned, every worldview that you've left behind, every limiting belief that you've left behind, every relationship that you've left behind, all of the past versions of yourself. Like, you've done a lot of work. And this stuff is about to come full circle, because the capacity to which we are experiencing the shadow side of life shows us the amount of capacity that we're having for the light side of life. Meaning, the deeper you're in the trenches of the darkness and coming out of that, you can go even higher, like at least as high as you went deep, or even more. It's a very complicated way of saying, basically, whatever you've been through, you will receive the light side, the happy side, the light-filled side of whatever you've gone through in the darkness. Does that make sense to you? I don't know how to describe it better than this, but I'm sure, it's like the amount of despair that you felt will be replaced by an equal amount of love, of unconditional love, I should say, unconditional love. It's that kind of exchange that's about to occur for you. And it's a reward for the kind of work that you've been doing. It's like you need it. Oh, okay, I see. So I've spoken, depending on whether or not you have watched some of my readings, you may have heard me say this before, but the moment that we ourselves become some kind of guide to others, like spiritual guide or some kind of teacher to others when it comes to life experiences, etc., the moment that we become the guide for others is when we have been through a significant amount of darkness ourselves. And it's those lessons that we've learned from that journey that we will then bring on as teachings for others. And I'll be right back. I need to change my battery. Okay, so only then will you become this teacher and this guide for others, It's a turning point for you. It's a big turning point for you, not just a small one. It's like the hard lessons that you've learned are coming to an end. And it's time for you to open up to this unconditional love that the universe wants to bring into your life, and all of these blessings that the universe wants to bring into your life. And particularly your spirit guides. But I mean, like, your spirit guides or your spirit team is an extension of this like heart of source energy. And the heart of source energy is described as the source that everything is made of. It's like the spirit guides are basically more or less physical incarnations of this heart of source consciousness, of this energy, so and we are also part of that, just a bit more diluted. That's the best way I can put it. A bit more diluted. But that's the energy that wants to come through. That's the energy. It's this unconditional love that's ready to come into your life now. They're showing me an image right now of a house that has been flipped upside down. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so I am German, and there is a German expression. I mean, I do channel the English all of the time, always have. But there is a German expression of das Haus auf den Kopf stellen, which just means like putting the house on its head, basically, so turning it upside down. And it's this image of the amount of love and the amount of goodness that you're experiencing or that you're about to experience is going to do that to you. It's going to just flip your picture about everything upside down. Because you have been so used to this like pain cycles after pain cycle after pain cycle that you basically, you don't know that this kind of goodness also exists here on earth. That's this kind of imagery, and all of the goodness that's coming in is really going to make you actually believe even more that there is something else out there, that there is this like energy, this benevolent beings out there. Okay, so you've been caught in a moment of doubt as well, but it's natural, like it's human, it's part of our life, particularly when we're going through such a deep journey. There's always this question of why me, why did this happen, etc., right? Like, what's the point in all of this pain if we are actually here to experience unconditional love? Like, what's the point? What's the thought? Who's guiding this, etc.? Like all of these kind of questions are popping up. Have been popping up for you is what I just heard. So you have been questioning that. Your spirit guides just said, oh, they shrugged their shoulders. They just said, oh yeah, fair enough. It's basically like they were looking at everything that happened for you and they're like, oh yeah, you know, I get what they would think, that fair enough. But anyway, they're excited for what they have in store for you. Super excited. And they're super excited as well about connecting more and deeper with you and be more in a, like in a constant state of connection. I feel like you have some work to do here. I mean, I already spoke about you being a guide for others, but yeah, I feel like there's some work here connected. There's some work connected between the journey that you've been through, the lessons that you've learned, and your spirit guides. And like this true, like sort of like, kind of like this, like merging together and creating a lot of light and like being this guiding light for others. I mean, this is, that's really interesting, but I'm not going to go deeper into this topic because it's not part of today's reading, right? We're focusing on the energy shift. And I would say, actually, let me look into how you can support yourself through this shift now. Yeah. Okay, I have 4 cards for you. We have Inner Warrior, trust that you have power. I love this card, and I also love that she's not looking at whatever battle is in front of her through her physical eyes, but she's looking through her spiritual eye. You know, she's looking at this whole situation through these subtle senses. And I mean, that's what your reading is about. We already touched on that. You put this up a bit. We have Labradorite with wisdom, intuition, and divination. Honey. Okay, so that's the 3rd card about unseen energies. We have Goddess of Compassion with Kuan Yin. And we have the White Tarot, Mother Creator, Goddess of Peace and Protection. And again, I'm being drawn to all of the eyes that are open for her in this picture here. And she's sitting in a meditation posture as well. It's like, yeah, it's not just using the physical eye to see. It's using all of the other senses, like the feeling sense as well. And right as I said that, I actually felt, because I'm also, like, I can feel energies around me. It feels different in temperature, and the vibe feels different. Sometimes, yeah, my body reacts to it. I'm being drawn to that because right as I had my hands out here and I said that, I felt an energy on my right. And they're asking me to talk a little bit about feeling them. So some of you remember how I said, so awakening process, dark night of the soul, and like waking up to being constantly sort of in connection with them. Some of you have already felt their presence on a physical level, like I just heard some like taps on your shoulders, or like you felt some kind of pressure, like, you know, like someone is tapping, or yeah, like a light pressure on your shoulder. For some of you, I heard the right side of the waist, or like on the back, you know, like on the small back, like around the waist almost. But it will be different for, you know, that's just for a few of you. If you've had an experience like this, you will exactly know what I mean and what I'm referring to right now. You did not imagine that. That was in fact them. Okay, so trust your perceptions there. There's something here about when you're feeling that kind of energy, it's because they want to get your attention regarding whatever you are currently thinking of. So if you feel that, remember what you just thought of, or what you just looked at, or perhaps what you were just doing. There are some clues that they're giving you when they are connecting to you. For some of you, They're also making their physical presence known, particularly when you feel very alone as a result of going through this energy. So some of them are tapping in, quite literally tapping in to let you know, hey, oh, we're also here. You're not alone. Probably a lot nicer than what I just said. They're scolding me for saying Ayo. Okay, so they would never say that. I apologize. Anyway, that's a very gentle way of them to let you know that you are not alone. And they are there. So there's some physical experiences that you're having. And with the wisdom, intuition, divination as well. And I mean, the hands are highlighted here again, just like here. For some of you, you have a gift to receive creative impulses that are directly connected to this source energy. So you're creating some kind of, I want to say spiritual art, but it's not that you're necessarily that you're sitting there and you're drawing angels or any of that sort. It's more that whatever you're creating has a specific vibration, and this vibration that is in whatever you're creating carries this heart of source energy. It carries this energy of unconditional love. And when people are looking at, listening to, consuming whatever you're creating, for some of you, you do that through food. You do that through cooking. Okay, side point. But whenever someone is receiving whatever you're creating, they're also receiving that energy that comes with it. And that's why you will notice that as you move ahead, people will be drawn to you like a moth to a flame. And you're going to ask yourself why, and question, and also question whether or not you deserve that. A little side point from your guides. You may want to do a little bit of limiting belief work surrounding this topic of what you feel deserving of. But you will ask yourself why. Because there are other people doing similar things to you, and it's not gonna take off as much as it does for you. And the reason it's not gonna take off as much for them as it is for you is because the kind of journey that you've been through, people can feel it in your energy. But people feel it in your energy not as the heaviness as you are currently experiencing when you're thinking about it. People see it as someone who has a lot of experience, so they see the positive side of that. They see more the wisdom side of that kind of energy. And they are so drawn to this light that you're embodying because you've been through all of this darkness. You have a larger capacity of light than a lot of other people. And they are so drawn to this kind of energy, and that's why they are drawn to you. And like I said, you will experience this so much going through this, and it's something like it's opening up. Okay, I was with the wisdom card, right? Labradorite. I spoke about the creative impulse with the intuition. Yeah, that's the intuition. It's this idea, this nudge that, I should go and create this. I should go and do that. And with the intuition as well, start listening to these intuitive nudges that you're getting and following through with that. With Inner Warrior, trust that you have power. I already spoke about following these little impulses. Because the thing is, the more that you are following these little impulses and see all of the benefits that come out of that and see what unfolds when you are following that, the more you will trust your inner senses, and the more that you trust your power. It's like a little muscle that you're working out each time that you get a nudge and you follow that and you see what unfolds after. The more that you are trusting that inner voice, trusting that inner vision to guide you. because you will start to understand that, oh, okay, it's a new way of operating in this world for you. Because before, with like all of this heaviness, it was it was more murky, and it was difficult for you to move through. I just heard like professional work, for example. There were lots of difficulties and like navigating and finding yourself in places where you, after a while, like in the beginning it was good, and after a while you were like, oh my god, I'm in the same energy as I was before. How did that happen? That's one example that came through just now, and it's this distrust of your own intuition because of that, because in the beginning you felt with these other opportunities that they were the right fit for you, and then you were almost disillusioned and started to question your inner voice even more, you know? There's a message here about that. Your intuition was never off. It's just that you're not looking at the situation with the higher perspective. You see, each time that you went into the situation and it turned out into a new opportunity, and it turned out to kind of be the same situation, just like same shit, different place, basically. It's because there was one aspect of this old energy that you had not worked through yet. And, you know, like a different side of the coin that you needed to address, that you needed to experience, and that you needed to navigate through, move through, that you needed to transmute and transform. And that's why you found yourself so many times in these places that kind of, at some point you realize, oh no, it's the same again. It's like, what is happening? And your intuition was not misguiding you. Your intuition was guiding you to this point in time right now, where you've been through all of this work, and it's time now to move ahead. You know, it's like the spiral that you've been through. But the spiral was not a hamster wheel, you know, you were not going round at the same time. The spiral was something that took you deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the deepest depths of doing this healing work, this transmutation work, so that you can be completely free of that. So start trusting your nudges again. Start following that and see what happens, because like your guides are coming through, and we already spoke about blessings that want to come through, pleasant experiences all around. Start following that. With the Goddess of Compassion and White Terra, there is, with this Compassion card, I feel like a perspective shift in order when it comes to the way that you view yourself. Like, you are not a fuck up. You have not done anything wrong. You've taken every choice that you needed to take. And you've done an excellent job at transmuting that. Going forward, and when I say going forward, I mean from right this second, right now, forward. Start to view yourself through the eyes of Source or God or whatever resonates with you as a term. It's all the same thing. Start to view yourself through that loving gaze that's grounded in this unconditional love. And start to extend more of this unconditional love and unconditional acceptance towards yourself. Because the more that you're extending that towards yourself, first of all, remember how I spoke about what you're creating, and people crave that because of the specific vibration. This unconditional love, the more that you are embodying that unconditional love in yourself, with the way that you're talking to yourself, with the way that you are, I wanted to say speak to yourself, but I just said that the way that you are treating yourself, the way that you're treating your body, the way that you're treating your mind, the way that you are taking time to rest when you need to rest, for example. All of these things are coming with the vibration of whatever you're creating. Okay, so that's part of this essence that really draws people in. Part of this vibration. So be a bit gentler with yourself, be a bit kinder with yourself. And with White Tara here, Mother Creator, Goddess of Peace and Protection, I'm being massively drawn to the creator part and the art that I already spoke of. And like with the peace, it's time to make peace with yourself on all levels. There is no need for you to hold grudges against yourself because you have made certain choices, or because you have treated yourself in a specific way, in a specific way of time, space of time, or you've treated others in a specific way at whatever time in your life. You have taken the choices you've taken, and you've done the actions that you have done with the knowledge that you had at the time. It's madness for you to take the knowledge that you're having today, now after you've gone through this, after you've gone through the lesson, and can you hear that? My dog is outside of the door. Okay, I will go and pet him in a second. Okay, now that after that little cuddling interruption with my dog, where was I? I just spoke about you making peace with yourself and how this peace gets encoded into what you're creating. I also feel like with this protection, your spirit guides are heavily protecting you at this time. Heavily protecting you because, like I said, we only become a teacher or a guide to others after we've gone through something significant ourselves and gained all of this wisdom from that. It's in the universe's best interest to peacefully bring these people who are these kinds of guides into a position where they are heard and felt by as many others as possible. You know, to help the consciousness on our planet heal and become closer to unconditional love themselves, you know, like for each and every being, every person that's here. All right. Do I have more messages coming through for you? Okay, they want me to go back to the unconditional acceptance and to ask you to do a little bit of forgiveness work. Do a forgiveness meditation. Do as many forgiveness meditations as you need to. You can also work with writing things down on a piece of paper and then burning it to release it. Because parts of these grudges, these self-grudges that you're holding are, they're like part of your energy, and it's time to release them. Okay, that was the last message that wanted to come through. And oh no, they have one more. So remember how my dog was interrupting us? You are going to hear and feel your guides with the same amount of clarity that I just did with my dog whining outside my door. That's straight from them, not from me. Okay. All right. I guess that's why the interruption was there, because I was wondering why that happened. Okay. Anyway, that's the message that I have for you today, my beautiful guides. And yes, I called you the guides because you're the guide in the making. I see that very, very clearly. And I'm happy that you're here, okay? I'm excited to see what you're going to create as well in the future. And let me know how this resonates in the comments down below if you want to share something with me, because I love reading that. It's so interesting to me. connected to today's topic of this energy shift, there will be 2 extra resources coming your way. The first one will be an EFT tapping session to release uncomfortable emotions and physical sensations. And the second one will be a Reiki treatment that, about 30 minutes, that will also support this energy shift. Okay, if it's out already, you'll find it in the pinned comment down below. And that's all I have for you today. Have a beautiful rest of your day today. Bye.